Hej, ja då står vi här vid Jean Bousquet, Tupungato, Mendoza. Och vi ska träffa Labid Al Ameri som är VD och partner här för Jean Bousquet. Hi Labid.
Hi Per, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. What about yourself? Good?
Fine, thank you.
Yeah. When did Jean Bousquet started? Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yes. Well, Jean Bousquet actually he came to Argentina for the first time in 1990. He was in France, in southern France, and he was making wine for 30 years in France already. He comes from a third generation winemakers. And he was trying to always look for something better. And he was going around the world and trying to find better places. And he came to Argentina, he came to this place, and he really liked the place. He thought that even though this place in Argentina has not been internationally recognized back then, he thought that had a great potential. And because of the weather conditions and everything, so little by little he started to come more often and to understand more Argentina. And in 1997 he came here. He sold his winery back in France, and he bought 400 hectares here. As you can see here, all the area, the property. Basically, when he first came, there was nothing, absolutely nothing. It was just a field, and a lot of people didn't think this is a right place to make wines in this area of Tupungato. Tupungato is Valle de Uco, which is 90 kilometers south of Mendoza, which is the traditional area of winemaking in Mendoza is around Mendoza, 10-15 kilometers south of Mendoza. 90 kilometers south west is more into the mountains. We are very close to the mountains here. We have an altitude of 1,200. A lot of Argentinians thought this place is too cold to grow vines. Jean didn't think so, because he was looking actually for something colder. He wanted really to, his vision was to create wines that are between the old world and the new world. He didn't want to have wines that are too much exposed to heat. He wanted a combination.
Okay, and your wines are organic. What does that mean?
Yes, that's correct. Exactly. We when Jean arrived here, he saw that in this soil, it's really a virgin soil, and it has amazing drainage, and so it allows us to have to produce naturally organic wines. We don't really need to make a lot of effort to make organic wines here. Is our idea is we just, because there is no how we call it, insects, there is the soil is really has a good drainage, so it doesn't allow the insects to stay, so we don't really need to use any chemicals and any pesticides. And for us it's very important, because you know, organic products, it's it's a natural product, and allows us to, you know, to have, the most important thing is to have healthy products. And Jean really believes that if we can treat well the vineyards, if the vineyards are healthy and doesn't have you know, too many chemicals, the fruit will be healthy, and the fruit will make eventually better wines, and healthier wines. And that's the idea. Also for us it's important to treat well the vines. If you treat well the earth and the vines will give the best fruit to us in now and in the future years.
So if you should say just a few words, what is organic? What is it? Is it just that you reduce the spray, to not spray the wines, or is that it, or?
Well, that's a good question. Organic basically is not a major issue. Is about to not use chemical or spray products into the vines. That's instead of that, using you know, natural products. Try to use natural products. It's true that with with that, you know, there is some risk of using natural products. It's not like a lot of people want to avoid risk, so they use chemical products. That way you have no chance of of insects or problems in the vines. Us, we we think that, you know, you don't need that. You can try to work with natural products, you know, treat the vines well, you know, and with that, it's enough for us to make you know, great products. And basically, it's this. It's not a huge difference, you know.
Okay. Okay, thank you for that. Should we let them see the winery?
Yes.
Yeah,
Let's go.
okay, perfect. Okay then, so this is the winery itself.
Yeah.
So let's go inside.
Yeah, let's go. This winery was built around 6 years ago, and now it has a capacity of 2.5 million liters of production. And this winery, mainly there is oak cask of 8,000 liters each. Here we do fermentation. It's a French oak. For us, it's very important because when we make the fermentation here, there is a good integration with the oak and a good micro-oxygenation. Also, we have concrete tanks as well, and this has a good result for us with the red wines. And at the end of the cellar, we have the stainless for the whites.
Okay, so why do you use concrete? What is the advantage with it?
Well, for the concrete, is for us is it gives us, we can control also the temperature through inside through systems that we can control the temperature, and also it has a really it's for us it's a good we can do everything inside. We can control more the wines, and it's also for space management is easier as well.
What is this in the... Yeah?
Here we can see a concrete tank. It's very well isolated with proxy paint. So, and also inside there is a control of temperature.
And on the floor here you also have some tanks. What is this?
These are tanks where after the fermentation we bring the wine underneath to store the wines.
Okay.
So just to let you know, here these are all the stainless to make the white wines, and once we have the grapes, we bring the grapes here, and we put the grapes in a chamber, a cold chamber to have, because when we harvest is hot.
Yep.
So the grapes are a little bit warm. We
Okay.
need to make sure the grapes have good temperature, so they enter here this chamber where it's really it will cool down the grapes. After a couple of days, a really nice temperature, we go and start the process of steaming the grapes there, and it goes up, and in a gravity manner will go to all the other tanks, and the maceration and fermentation starts from there.
It seems like the gravity is very important for you
Yes,
here.
very important, because for us is we really don't need to move the wine too much.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's very important for us. So so we don't use aromas, we don't use lose flavors. You know, so the wine has to be always as settled as possible.
It's very French.
Yes, exactly. It's very traditional style in the winemaking, and we really look for elegance in the wines. We look for a nice concentration, nice fruit, and a good integration of oak. Not too much on the oak side. That's why I use big tanks of oak. And after that, most wines for the Grand Reserva, they go to smaller tanks later, but we don't try
Like this one, right?
like these ones.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea is always not to use excess oak.
Okay.